Hello and welcome back to HardReset.Info. In this video, I will tell you top 10 tips to fix battery drain on Samsung S25. Let's begin! So, the very first tip that I can tell you is the simple screen. Like, that's all you need to know. If we go to the settings, and then if we go to display right here, we can see that we have few different options. The very first one is simply disabling adaptive brightness, because it tends to randomly brighten up your device, and if your screen is very bright, then it means that it requires more energy in order to display that brightness, which is unfortunate for our case, of course. Then the other part is to switch from light mode to dark mode. This is because most OLED screens are, well, OLED screens, and OLED screens work in like the very fun way that they need to use more power in order to display bright pixels. So if you have a dark mode on, it means that you have less bright pixels to worry about, meaning that overall the screen doesn't need to take as much battery as before. And lastly, we can scroll down here and lower out the screen timeout. As you can see, currently it is set to 5 minutes, which is honestly a lot, and it doesn't need to be. There's no need for it to be 5 minutes, because if we leave the phone just hanging, for example, then it will still work for 5 minutes before turning off, which is unfortunate, and it just wastes our energy. So we can set it to, for example, 1 minute. The very other thing that is also related to the screen is wallpaper itself. As you can see, this is a live wallpaper. I don't think it's like very visible, but if we go to the settings and if we go to the wallpaper and style, we can see that it is interactive and it has many different colors. It's overall bright, and all kinds of interactive wallpapers, and the very bright ones, just like before, they waste a lot of energy. So I would advise you to switch to something simple and probably not animated, because it will also waste a lot of your power. We can go to wallpapers, and in wallpapers we can basically switch to something else. I would choose this dog, but it still uses like a semi-different palette of colors, and they are very bright. The same thing goes with this gradient one. It's a very nice gradient, I do agree, but the problem with that is it's bright. So we can scroll down. Here we have the basic colors, so I will go for this one. And as you can see, now we can hit done. And yeah, we can also change the color palette. It doesn't really change your battery, but I don't like the fact that it's not related to the basic colors of ours. So we can go and I don't go for something like this or this. Well, this is pretty cool. Let's go for apply, and now everything should work and look pretty cool. Of course, we do have a very bright lock screen, but generally speaking, you can leave your lock screen, as it doesn't really waste that much of your power. However, the thing that does waste a lot of your power is always on display, because, as the name suggests, it is always on display. So we can go to lock screen AOD, and you want to make sure that your always on display is turned off. Otherwise, it might randomly turn on and might randomly just eat your energy up, which is really, really unfortunate. As you can see, I don't really have Wi-Fi, and it's actually intentional, because using Wi-Fi and especially mobile data also wastes your battery. Now, I don't think I could really say the word wastes, as it's just usage of your phone. Of course, that if you will use your phone, you will use the battery as well, but there's no need to use Wi-Fi when you don't need to, when you don't have to use Wi-Fi, when you don't have to have like a very brief and on-demand informations or I forgot the name, notifications, etc. etc. If you are home and if you're not using anything, then you can just disable the Wi-Fi and especially disable the mobile network, because they also tend to waste a lot of your energy. Now, something very cool is going here, and as you can see, we do have, you know what, I will actually dismantle the charging like that, as there's no need for it to charge up. And as you can see, we still have many things online. We have Wi-Fi, we have Bluetooth, and we have location and all of that. Location especially tends to waste a lot of your energy, because it's like it requires you to send that data and to download it, to send it. It does really use some of your energy, and the very quick way to just cut off all of that is with simple flight mode. And unfortunately, location doesn't really work with that, so we can disable it manually, but now our phone will cry like a little baby that it doesn't have location access. And what do? We say, sorry man, I do not care, I want my battery. So you would think that that's all. Of course, we can also go with settings. In the settings, we can go to battery, power saving, and enable the power saving. The power saving will basically automatically do some things I already did. So it will turn off always on display, it will decrease the brightness, it will set motion smoothness to standard, so you don't have 120 Hz, you have 60 Hz. It will enable the dark mode, and it will set screen timeout to even lower value of 30 seconds, as you can see. And it is pretty cool, but there's also more you can do. For example, I'm currently not logged in, and it really depends on what applications you're using, but you usually want to disable keywords on AI Assistant. You know, like Hey Siri, or in case of our Samsung S25, it would probably be Hey Google or Hi Bixby. I'm not sure who uses Bixby these days, but if you are a Bixby user, you can always disable its keywords. If you are not sure on how to do that, you can easily check our tutorials exactly on that topic, which is pretty cool and pretty important. And lastly, like the last tip I want to give you, is something very easy, very simple, and it's incredibly unfortunate to see so many people just not doing that, and it's to simply go into your battery and just go here into battery activity. And if you scroll down, we could see applications. Now, I don't really use any kind of applications here other than settings, since I was recording settings stuff. But if you are a normal user, you would see a very big list here of all that stuff that you could disable or use less in order to save more battery. It's pretty obvious, but maybe not to everyone, that, for example, if you are a mobile gamer, then your games will eat a lot of your battery. So if you want to save battery and fix the title's battery drain, you can just game less. You know, it's really that simple. And like this last tip is basically to just be aware of how much power your apps are using, because this is probably the easiest way to save the battery, by just being mindful about how you use your phone, because, you know, some apps just consume way more battery than others, especially like games and streaming apps, and also social media, because all of these are downloading a lot of data from the internet in order to display it to you. So yeah. And speaking of streaming apps, there's also a very small tutorial, especially on Netflix. I know that Netflix has this option, Disney probably too, everyone kind of has this option, but you can just download the content and then view it later without wasting your mobile data and your battery in the process. But yeah, this was the last tip, and it marks the end of that video. If you have any other tips, you can just share them down in the comments below. But yeah, if you like this video, remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.